Hello Simmers and welcome to Frankfurt International Airport, Echo Delta Delta Foxtrot in Germany. And the reason why we are here again, because I did a video with Frankfurt a couple of months ago, is that in the comment section of the previous JAR A330 video that I made, Corazon Nero, Bernd, noticed in a comment that he had difficulty flying the flight from Frankfurt to Amsterdam with the A330 V3. Well, I'm not a developer for YAR Design. I'm in not any way connected to the company. But the least thing I can do is, well, recreate his flight and see if I run into the same difficulties, or, well, if I don't, show him how I do it, and maybe he can learn something from it. So that's the reason why we are in Frankfurt with the YAR Design A330. Now, Corazon Nero mentions in his post that he uses runway 7 right for takeoff with the Maru 5 Echo sit, and that he is flying to Amsterdam on a Norco 2 Alpha standard arrival route for ILS runway 6. So that's exactly what we are going to do. Note that this would not be my preferred flight plan. That is to do with the runway layout in Frankfurt. This is runway 7 right, this is 7 center, and 7 left is down there. For your orientation, north is over there, south is over there. This is basically southwest, northeast. We are flying from Frankfurt to Amsterdam, so that's basically to the northwest. So after departure, you have to make a left turn heading north. And what ATC will normally do is put you on the runway 07 center, because if you have simultaneous takeoffs on 2 runways, you can't have the planes that have to go to the south on this runway and the planes that have to go to the north on this one, because then the turns will cross their paths. And that's something that ATC will usually try to prevent by putting planes that depart to the north on the center runway and planes that depart to the south on the right runway. So the only reason that we are taking off from runway 7 right today is because it was explicitly mentioned in the question of Corazon Nero. So I don't want any comments on that that's not realistic. I know that's not the point. What I did, I already started up the airplane, aligned the IRS. I will, however, run through the programming of the flight management computer because, well, maybe something went wrong in there with Corazon Nero. So we'll just have to look into that. Now, like I said, we Frankfurt to Amsterdam, alternate is Rotterdam. Flight number is fictional, Lufthansa 168, cost index 50, cruise flight level will be 240. Well, we have 16,200 kilos of fuel on board and a zero fuel weight of 165.1 thousand kilos. So let's programming in the route and be on our way as quickly as we can. So like I said, runway 07 right with the, where is it, Maru 5 Echo departure. And let me just talk you through that departure. Taking off, after takeoff, a left turn heading 356 on the Foxtrot Mike 356 radial outbound. And from that moment on, once we reach 14.8 DME Foxtrot Mike, we continue on a heading of 358 to Tesga and then on heading 003 via Alidi to Marun. We are not allowed to climb above 5,000 feet until we have ATC clearance to climb higher. So what I did, set 5,000 in the altitude window. But that will be the departure anyway, so let's put that into our flight plan. Now from Marun we will follow some airways. We will fly via the Yankee 152 to Arpech. So Yankee 152 to Alpha Romeo Papa Echo Golf. Then we'll fly the Zulu 850 to Han. Zulu 850 to Hotel Mike Mike or HAM VOR. And after that it's the Tango 281 to Norku. So Tango 281 to November Oscar Romeo Kilo Uniform. Into the flight plan, insert. And after that it is Amsterdam arrival ILS 06 via the Norku to Alpha. Also in the flight plan, check for discos. There are none. So here we are. Flight plan is loaded. So let's go to the performance page. You want to have flaps 1 takeoff, trim up 26 or 2.6, transition altitude 5,000 feet. QNH was 1023. Let's see if it's still there. 1023 it is. Well, the Frankfurt airport is elevated at approximately 400 feet above sea level. So I want my thrust reduction and my acceleration altitude altered to that. So I set that to 1400 and 2400 feet. Except for the scenario when one of the engines fails, then I want to accelerate at 2000 feet. And that's basically it for the flight management computer right now. But to talk you through the entire flight when we are at it anyway. Like I said, Norku to Alpha arrival. Norku is a waypoint at the border between the Netherlands and Germany and the east. So from there we'll fly northeast to Robis, then left via Oscar to Artip. From Artip we will fly to the Sierra Papa Lima VOR, and then it's on heading 227 to the Charlie Hotel NDB. Left turn heading 185 for 1 minute. We are category Charlie or Delta airplane. And then we'll make a turn intercept for the ILS runway 6, which is course 058 and frequency 110.55. So that's what's in store for us today. With the flight management system loaded, it is time to put on the passenger signs and the beacon lights.
Before start checklist complete.
Start up the APU and plan our pushback. Well, this is perfect.
Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
Now the APU is coming online. Let's call in the truck already, the pushback duck already.
Ground to cockpit. Toast driving up.
So let's welcome the passengers.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Welcome on board. We will perform this flight with our first officer and our cabin crew. Currently, we are waiting for engine startup clearance from tower. We are expecting departure in approximately 10 minutes. I will give you more information about our flight during cruise. Have a nice flight.
Alright, with that done, let's open the APU bleed, set the probe window heats on. APU is now running, so we can switch or disconnect the external power. So that should be off now.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect. Set parking brake.
Brakes are set, clear to connect. Now we just have to wait for the pushback duct to connect.
The doors are armed.
Okay.
Now, by the way, what I...
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Park brake off.
Brakes released, clear to push.
Starting pushback, and you may start the engines.
Roger, starting sequence, first 2, then 1. So what I was about to say, what I do have with this airplane, once it is loaded, I first have to go to the flight configuration, and in the failures position set fix all systems, because what I do have is I get faults on the generators and they don't work. Let's just start up engine number 2
Starting
first.
engine 2.
So here we are, and 3 is running up. That's over 20%, so we will see the fuel flow come online any second now. There it is. The exhaust gas temperature starts to rise, and the EPR is at 1.0 something. And number 2 started, so startup number 1.
Starting engine 1.
And again, N3 is over 20. When it reaches 25, you will see a fuel flow. There it is. Exhaust gas temperature starting to rise. N1 is coming online. And it's stabilized, so starter back to norm. Set the flaps to 1.
Flaps 1. Spoilers arm.
Arm the spoilers. Auto brake max.
Operation complete. Please set parking brake.
Park brake on.
Brakes are set, clear to disconnect.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
My generators still have that fault, so as soon as I switch off the APU, the generators won't be online, so all my electricity is gone. So there is still bugs with this airplane. I haven't got any messages that there are new updates available, so as far as I know, this is the latest version that I'm having right now. But I'm not completely sure. This is V3 release candidate 4. And it's not bug free in my system at least. So parking brake is set. Let's check the air conditioning.
After start checklist completed.
That's all done. Okay, let's do a flight control check.
Full up, check.
Full down.
Full
Tower is
down,
disconnected
check.
and bypass
Full
pin
left.
has been
Full
removed.
left,
And
check.
signal on the left.
Full right,
I'll see you
check.
next time. Have a safe flight.
Thanks for your help. See you next time. Bye bye. And when we see the duck driving off, we'll check the rudder. There he goes.
Pedal full left, check.
Full right.
Pedal full right, check. Flight control check completed.
So clear signal is received, and we still have to set our flex temperature. Let's set it to 45. It's now set, and we also have to switch on the transponder, so let's move that to above, TARA and auto. So now it's time for us to release the parking brakes
Park brake off.
and taxi to runway 07 right. And once we are taxiing, we will get a call from the cabin crew stating that the cabin is ready, and that will be the before takeoff checklist. So here we go. The generators seem to be online now, so what I'll do is try to switch off the APU. Now it does work, that's nice. So I'll take back everything I said about the bugs. It's just impatience from my side. And here we go. And there's the cabin crew.
Passengers are wearing. Cabin is ready for takeoff.
Before takeoff checklist completed.
Okay.
Let's switch on the taxi lights. Now what we will do is we'll go right here, then left, follow this one, cross the runway, down the center taxiway to 07 right. And with 11 knots we are good to make this turn now. Slightly on the brakes, 12 knots is a bit much. Always try to make 90 degrees turns with approximately 10 knots ground speed, as you can read here. And here we go again, turn right. So what I'll do is I'll cut the video here and I'll see you guys when we are ready for takeoff. So see you in a bit. So welcome back. We are now almost at the holding point for runway 07 right. So I'm now just checking the TCAS to see if there's any airplanes on final for this runway. I don't see any landing lights, I don't see any diamonds, so we should be alright. So what I will do now is, the strobes I already switched them off and the runway turn-off lights. So we just set the nose gear light to take off and the landing lights on. Reduce some ground speed for that turn to runway 07 right, and we'll just line up on the runway. The airplane that was taxiing in front of us just took off, so the runway is clear. So let's call the cabin crew.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff.
This gives them plenty of time to get in their seats, fasten their seat belts before we start our takeoff roll.
Approaching 07 right.
Here we are.
On runway 07 right.
Check, 07 right. Lined up and ready to go, so let's just go and not waste any more time. So increase the thrust to about 50% N1. Here we are, and managed flex 45 is set. Thrust set.
Power set.
Check. Airspeed active. $80 knots.
$100 knots.
Check.
V1.
Rotate.
Rotate.
Positive
rate. Gear up.
Gear up.
let's just
speed,
follow our
speed,
flight director now.
speed.
Oh, we're a bit too steep in the climb. Let's lower the nose before we reduce our thrust to climb thrusts. Let's gain some speed first and make a left-hand turn now. Some wind coming in from the left. Okay, climb thrust. For some reason that I don't understand.
Need to check, sir.
Climb
if
thrust.
everything is okay with the light.
So lower the nose. I think because the speed was too low, the airplane went in go-around mode. And it wasn't responding to the throttle command, so I had to switch off and then on again the auto throttle. This is not a smooth takeoff as I like them. Definitely not. But let's disengage the spoilers.
Spoilers disarm.
And switch off the nose gear and runway turn-off lights. And here we are on the flight path. It's a bumpy ride, there's a lot of turbulence in here. And that wind from the right is also interfering with the airplane, so flaps up.
Flaps 0.
And autopilot engaged.
Autopilot 1, cross-check.
Climb flight level 240. And we are climbing again, we are reaching 5,000 feet. So barrel
After
to standard.
takeoff checklist completed. Standard
292.
barrel cross-check. Passing flight level 050.
And we are on our way to Amsterdam. With the ride being as bumpy as it is right now, I think it's wiser to leave the passengers in the seatbelts for now. So here we are climbing out of the Frankfurt region with the Main River down there. Airport is over there. This is the railway station of Frankfurt am Main, which is huge. And this will be the Manhattan, as it is called, with the financial district with the large skyscrapers, with the European Central Bank and Deutsche Bank headquarters, etc. Been there when I was still in college, so to speak. We had a study trip to Frankfurt to the financial stuff. Beautiful area. Very modern city because it was almost completely wiped out by Allied bombardments during the Second World War. So somewhere downtown there's a small street of rebuilt, well, old houses as they used to be before the bombings. And all the other stuff is quite modern actually. But anyway, approaching 10,000 feet. Looks like the plane is stabilized a little bit, so let's switch off the landing lights and set the seatbelt signs to auto. So I'll continue the flight and I'm back with you guys as soon as I start my approach preparation in the cruise just before top of descent. So see you guys in a bit. So here we are again. We are now approaching Norku, like I showed you on the map. That's down here in the east of the Netherlands. And we are about to start our descent, so let's just wind down the altitude. We have to descend to Sherpa Lima and we have to pass that over 7,000 feet. So let's verify that, well, first the performance data is in the flight management system. So what we need is a QNH for Amsterdam. That I cannot get right now. So let's just look it up online. Just Google the ICAO code of the airport of your destination combined with the term METAR. Go to the AllMed set link and there you have it. QNH 1023, so that's the same as in Frankfurt. Temperature is supposed to be 22 degrees. It's a very nice day here in the Netherlands. As soon as this video is done, I'm off to sit in the garden as well. And the wind in Amsterdam is 0508 knots. Transition altitude 3000 feet. That's correct.
We are
Approach speed
close to top of
141.
descent, sir.
So let's just verify that in the flight management system the oh, it flies via Papa Alpha Mike. Well, that's fine as well. 7,300. Papa Alpha Mike, Sherpa Lima are not that far away from each other. In fact, well, let's just initiate that descent first. So let's set the seatbelt signs on. And well, this is Sherpa Lima VOR and Papa Alpha Mike is somewhere down there. So it gives us a bit longer to descend down there. Not really sure whether this is the correct procedure, but because as far as I understood it, you'll fly from Artip down there to Sherpa Lima, and it's now sending me to Papa Alpha Mike. So I'm quite anxious to see what it looks like. So let's just go to plan mode. And let's just reduce the distance and walk through the flight plan. Papa Alpha Mike. Yeah, well. So it's doing this and then turning in. Yeah, it's slightly different. The map here says we have to fly basically from here to here and then this turn. And what we will do right now is fly from here to here and then make a left turn to the ILS. I think that's fine, doesn't really matter. As long as we get on the runway. So let's go back to the arc mode. 20 miles. We are now descending. Province of Flevoland, very well. The visibility is extremely clear today. I love it. Let's just take a quick peek on the outside because we are done with our approach preparation. No, we are not done yet. We have to check the nav radio. ILS frequency is 110.5. Kilo Alpha Golf is identified. DME Kilo Alpha Golf on 11055. So the frequency is correct. And the course 058 is also correct. So the ILS radio frequency course is set correctly and identified. So that's very important for us to know. The performance data is set. You press the performance here and then go to next phase until you get approach. Fill in the blanks. Our decision height will be 250 feet. Full flap landing, approach speed 141. So we are good with that. 7,000 feet is set. We are descending. And let's just set the TCAS to below instead of above. And let's just enjoy the view over the Netherlands with this clear blue sky down here. So let's try to orientate here. This is the province of Flevoland. That means this is the river IJssel. Which means Zwolle, the city, should be somewhere over here. And Kampen over there. Town of Dronten down there. And that means that we have now passed the Enschede area, I think. Not really sure about that one. Trying to find some highways. Can't really say that I can. I think this is one. This is the N50, the A50, then this is the A28 highway. This is then Zwolle city. With the old inner city down there with the canal surrounding it. And then we'll have the A50 running down there with at Harde, the artillery practice area for the Dutch army. Moving down we'll get to, I think, Deventer and or Zutphen down there somewhere. But anyway, let's jump back into the flight deck, see if there's any action required by us. We are below the flight path, so there's no need for extra drag. Speed is alright. So far, so good.
Okay.
Don't know what she was about to say, but it's still too early to call the flight attendants to their seats for landing, so let's not do that right now. We need to pass RTIP at 10,000 feet. Well, I think we will make that. RTIP is somewhere down there near Lelystad. This is Dronten. This is Zwolle with the A28 highway and the intersection of the A28 and the A50. The railway line, which splits in two. This one goes via Lelystad and Almere to Amsterdam. And this one goes via Nunspeet, Harderwijk and Amersfoort to direction Amsterdam. If this is the city of Kampen, then this is Elburg. And Harderwijk down there. Kampen is also a beautiful little town, or city I must say. Used to be part of the Hanse network and somewhere during the Dark Ages, I think. Historical inner city. Very lovely to go and visit sometime when you are in the Netherlands. These lakes surround this land. This island is a big boulder. All the land that you see used to be the seabed. And the lakes surrounding this area, they have a functional purpose, because the land on this side is what we call the old land. That's higher than the land here, because this used to be the seabed. This is 4 meters or 12 feet below sea level. This is above sea level. So if there isn't a water reservoir in between the two, then the groundwater from this part will go in there, and you will get a big swampy area around here. By the way, this is the old fisherman's city of Elburg. So to come back to my story, that's why they are these lakes surrounding the boulder. They didn't do that on this part, and this is a very swampy area. So they learned from this one. This was basically the first big boulder that they made. This was dried during or shortly before the Second World War in 1940. And after the war they started to build the towns in it. Except for this one. This is the former island of Urk. Famous fisherman's island in the Netherlands. And well, that became attached to the mainland when they dried boulders. Dronten, my hometown. Always nice to look at your own house from the sky. I will not point it out, but it's somewhere down here. And we are now flying towards Lelystad, with Lelystad Airport down there. Small town of Biddinghuizen. Like I said, Harderwijk, Zeewolde, and Almere over there. And this is the town of Zwifterband, with a very small town of Ketelhaven down there. That's Emmeloord, Urk, Lemmer should be somewhere down there. The dike between Lelystad and Enkhuizen, which is down there. And the Oostvaardersplassen. So let's go back into the flight deck. RTIP coming up, should be at 10,000 feet there. Well, I think we're gonna make that. 300 feet to go. And turning over RTIP at 10,000 feet.
Completed.
So landing lights on. Continue to descend to 7,000 feet. We have to be over Pampas down there at 7,000 feet, so that's a good 3,000 feet to go. So I expect to have a vertical speed of approximately 1,500 to 2,000 feet per minute. At least that's what I need. We are now 250 knots. That's the speed below 10,000 feet that we are allowed to fly. And the Pampas or Papa Alpha Mike VO are coming up already. Strange thing is we have to be over Pampas at 7,300 feet. I think we are quite high with 15 miles to go and 1,700 feet to lose, while the indicator here says that we are actually too low. So I wonder who's right, but we'll see. Oostvaardersplassen Reserve with the railway line running here through Almere. And the Hollandse Brug, the bridge between Almere and Amsterdam down there. And the A27 highway running here with the Stichtse Brug, the bridge between basically Almere and Huizen down there. And let me see, because down here you'll see this straight line, and that is called the Knardijk, which is basically a big dike dividing the polder in two sections, so that if there should be a break or a leak in the dike on one side, it doesn't immediately flood the entire polder but only half of it. So let's see, 7,800, 500 feet to go with approximately 7 miles to Pampas. And after that we have to descend to 2,000 feet, so I will set 2,000 right now. Let's see what the cabin attendant says to say.
Passengers are wearing cabin ready for landing.
Okay.
Okay. So 7,300 feet coming up. Pampas VOR. In 2 miles. Just keep descending 2,000 feet. Altitude constraint 7,000 feet over Papa Alpha Mike is now met. So what we'll do is we'll set the auto brakes to medium. We arm the
Spoilers arm.
spoilers. And here we are now flying towards Amsterdam. Let's set 2,000 feet. Amsterdam being down there with the famous canals. With A, central station down there. This is Amsterdam Zuidoost or southeast, the so-called Bijlmermeer, where I thought in 1992 or 1993, I thought 92, an LL747 crashed somewhere down there. Big railway emplacements. This is the A10 highway. The former Amsterdam Arena, now called the Johan Cruyff Arena, after the famous soccer player, Johan Cruyff. And we'll just continue our descent here. And it's getting a bit bumpy again. Quite an unstable atmosphere. Let's switch on the runway turn-off lights now. Now this is the exciting part, because in his post Corazon Nero said that he wasn't able to establish the airplane on the ILS. So let's just see if we are successful in doing that, or whether we fail there as well, which would probably indicate a failure of the airplane or the model. I really want to step up that descent right now, so just pull it. We are now over Amsterdam Airport Schiphol. And we will land on runway 6, which is this one, so we'll land from here in that direction. This is the town of Hoofddorp. And Nieuw-Vennep over there. The city of Haarlem. Which means we are basically heading for the area between, I think this is Zandvoort and this is Noordwijk. Somewhere down there we will cross and have to make that approach. So let's just see what we got here. I think we are descending now quite rapidly, so let's just descend at 1000 feet per minute. Engage the landing system, that's this knob. That will make the ILS visible on the primary flight display, so we can now see that 110.55 is set. And we are flying away from that. Well, that is correct. I could have watched my METAR from here as well. So 060, 6 knots, ceiling and visibility okay, QNH 1023. We can set QNH already to 1023 because we are descending to 2000 feet, which is below the transition altitude. So we are now descending 2000 feet on QNH 1023. So let's just wait for the airplane to reach this turn. And because it is making a turn, the green line doesn't come exactly over the waypoints that we have set. So 3000 feet is now set, 2000 feet coming up. We are making the turn now. What I will do is engage the approach mode, connect the second autopilot.
Autopilot 2, cross-check.
And move this one to the landing system.
2,500.
And the biggest downside of this add-on, in my opinion, is that you don't have the separate control over both the FMCs and the nav
Altimeter
displays.
setting.
Because I like to have my landing system on the pilot flying side and the pilot non-flying maintaining in the arc mode. That's not possible with this add-on. If they could do something about that, that would be awesome. So now the speed has to go down to 220 knots. And right now we are at 2000 feet leveling. That will mean that the speed will decrease quite rapidly. And now the airplane will begin to make a left-hand turn. Or at least it should be doing that. Well, any time now, please. Well, I don't know why, but it's not making the turn that it is supposed to
Approach
do.
phase activated.
So let's deactivate the approach phase, or the approach mode. Now it does make a turn. Some odd behavior. And now we will engage the approach modes. Let's set flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Well, I don't think it is supposed to be doing this. Let's see what happens here. Let's set flaps 2.
Flaps 2.
We're still 14 miles out, so that's a bit too far to lower the landing gear. Should be turning in for final any second now. There it is. So autopilot 1 and 2 engaged, approach mode activated. Localizer is alive and green, so it means that it's captured by the autopilot. And well, it is busy doing so. There's the airport. We are 10.8 miles out. A lot of wind, 7 knots coming in from the right, but varying from left to right, which makes this quite a bumpy approach. It says it's 7 miles away from VOR1 Kaag. But the ILS is 8 miles away. Not really sure which one to believe. Glide slope is now alive. Landing gear down.
Need to check, sir, if everything is okay with the light.
Gear down.
Nose gear lights on. Let's call the flight attendants.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for landing.
And flaps 3. Glide slope is captured. And
landing
flaps full.
checklist completed. Flaps full.
Okay, landing checklist is completed. Let's see the missed approach altitude. I thought it was 2,000 feet as well. Yeah, 2,000 feet. So missed approach altitude is set. So far, so good. I think passengers will be using a lot of sick bags during this approach. It's very bumpy.
1,000.
1,000 feet stabilized. Let's just see if the airplane is capable of making an automated landing.
Approaching 06.
Check, 06 is the correct runway.
$500. 400. 100 above.
Continue landing.
200.
200 feet coming up.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Long landing. Long landing.
spoilers.
8,000 feet remaining.
This is not a landing Lufthansa will be very proud
Reverse
of.
screen.
And neither am I, so let's just put on the reverses. 80 knots, reverses back to idle.
70 knots.
Auto brakes disconnected, manual braking. Let's just roll her out. Well, I wondered, didn't expect to get an applause for this one.
Nice landing, sir.
Well, it wasn't a nice landing, so... But anyway, yeah, I don't have a problem with this airplane flying an ILS approach to runway 6. So to address Corazon Nero directly, I hope that this video made well, that you are capable of finding out a mistake that you made. Maybe you should try to reinstall the airplane, or at least download the latest version.
Need to check, sir, if everything is okay with the light.
Taxi lights on, runway turn-off lights off, strobe lights auto. Good.
Spoilers retracted.
So let's just take a quick look at what that landing looked like from the outside, because I thought it was horrible, but still I got an applause, so don't really buy into that. So let's fast forward. Well, we can fast forward it slightly.
400. 300. 200. 100. 100 above. 50. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
This is not how it is supposed to be done. Balancing on one set of the main gear wheels. But the initial touchdown was quite smooth, I think. We just wind it back slightly. Because I think it's the initial contact with the ground that triggers the applause or the boo from the passengers. So let's just see what it looks like.
10, 5,
well, the initial bit wasn't bad. This is not as you like it. I mean, this is definitely not as you like it. But anyway, let's go back to the replay mode, or to the normal mode. Let's retract
Nice landing,
the
sir.
flaps.
Flaps 3, flaps 1, flaps 0.
Start the APU and switch off the probe window heaters. And taxi to a gate, and that will be the end of the flight. So let's say goodbye to the passengers already.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for flying with us. Have a nice day.
Well, that's to the point. So let's just dock well, let's go to the Delta gate. Oh, what the hell. We'll take Charlie, what is it, 15? 18. Nice and short taxi, that's the way we like it. And here we are in Amsterdam at the gate. Let's set the parking
Park
brake.
brake on.
APU is on, APU bleed is on. So let's switch off the taxi lights. And the transponder goes back to standby. Switch off engine number 2 and engine number 1. Beacon lights can be switched off. Seatbelt signs off. And the fuel pumps can be switched off as well. So that was the flight. Well, like I said, I hope you like it, and I hope that I forget his name every time. Corazon Nero finds this helpful in recreating his own flight. It might be. I hope that it helps finding well, either a mistake that he made, or well, at least allows him to fix the problem that he had. So I say thank you for watching. If you have any tips, tricks, comments, questions whatsoever, or requests, leave them in the comment section below. As usual, please do so in a respectful manner. And I hope to see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.